Hello, everyone. Hi, Nikki. How you doing?
Hi, Fred. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm really great. I'm really thrilled. I mean, we have a great turnout today. I think we have more than 650, close to 700 people who registered. And
Wow.
yes, that tells you how much interest and enthusiasm there is around this topic, which we'll be addressing today. So it's great, and it's great for me to be able to do it with you. I think it's something we've been working on together, and we chatting about, and we're both passionate about.
Yeah.
So
These
it's great.
past few weeks were indeed very exciting.
They were exciting, thrilling, and glad we can share that with the ecosystem. So I think maybe to go back to the theme. So what we'll be talking about today is really how to effectively integrate AI into existing processes and IT landscapes. And I know that many of us we've been passionate about what AI can bring to us, from Gen AI to machine learning. But the real question is always how can we make it something real, creating value for our customers or for our companies. And what we'll be looking into today is a powerful model for achieving this, and that's why I'm really glad that you can be here to share that with us, Nikki. Is how we can use AI but integrate it through platforms, existing platforms, which have already been pivotal in the digital transformation of enterprises. And one of these platforms is ServiceNow, and
Of
that's
course.
always an excellent foundation to start from there because using AI with those platforms, it's a good way to scale AI adoption. And then it can help businesses to move swiftly from proofs of concept to production services.
Right.
And I think why I believe you're the best person to talk to us about this is because, and I'm delighted to have you today. I mean, Nikki, I mean, I'll call you Nikki. I mean, Nicolas Hoffman, but everybody calls you Nikki. And you're a seasoned expert in ITSM solutions. You have a deep expertise both in implementing and managing ServiceNow instances. You're a certified trainer. You've shared your knowledge with countless people, administrators, developers, and above all, I think you've mastered the integration of advanced ServiceNow features and the development of custom applications for your client needs. So
Yes.
this passion for teaching, that makes you the best person for a topic today.
Thank you, Fred. Indeed, I've been working with the ServiceNow platform for the past 12 years. Of course, first, just implementing normal ITSM and different other topics of ServiceNow, of course. And more recently, of course, well, those who follow us, who have been following us for a few time, know what N2 is. But Nico and I co-founded N2, and we try to gather, of course, a lot of expertise around ServiceNow, but not only, but also around any workflow, any process that could be improved for any enterprise. So we do enterprise process management as well. And of course, being a ServiceNow expert, for me, it was very natural to demonstrate something on ServiceNow.
Mhm.
But what you really have to remember is that ServiceNow is not the only workflow capable platform on the market. And this is why we wanted to not especially use the Gen AI from ServiceNow, but we at N2 we are developing our own LLMs, thanks to you, Fred. And I wanted to show that any uh, great platform on the market could integrate with our product, with our AI, in fact.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. What you say is that we really have to think that AI is not something which can be delivered. I mean, it can be delivered as a standalone product, and people use them like they use ChatGPTs and others. But what we really want to look into is how we can use AI and make it one of the building blocks, and
Yes,
combine that with platforms like ServiceNow, which are more generic, and there can be others. I mean, people use ServiceNow because it's something which has been used at scale already, but there's many other platforms out there. And what we're going to demonstrate today could work with any platform.
exactly. So what I want to show you guys tonight, or today, I don't know where everyone
It depends
stands, but
on
I'm
the time
here
zone.
in Luxembourg, so it's 8 p.m. for me. So tonight, I will say tonight, it's easier. Um, I prepared 4 use cases that are in fact, a real use case of our business at N2. So we are building a community of experts. So we try to have the best experts in that community. So of course, one of the biggest challenge we encounter here is to manage skills, of course, because we have to understand what skills our players, we call them players, you'll see in the demo, uh, have. And of course, we need to match those skills to job opportunities that we can find. And we don't want our customers to have the wrong profile. So it's really important for us to manage correctly this data. And of course, it is very time consuming and complicated to handle on a daily basis. So this is why we are building AI integrations to help us improve that. So first use case, I will create in our ServiceNow a new business lead, we call them, so a new opportunity that you can find. Could be any public opportunity, or something that one of our own players want to share with the community, or it could be also a customer just reaching out to us and just asking us if we have something. Then I will show you how we create a new player. So how we gather his information based on his LinkedIn profile. So you'll see that I'll just create my user pointing to a LinkedIn profile, and the system will call our APIs, and these APIs will then start working with agents that will gather information for us. So this will avoid us from having to encode all the information that we need then to match with the job or anything else. Then I will request the system to tell us if our profile will match the job. You'll see I'll show you one good match, one less good match. And then finally, because we are currently building a custom application that we want to share with our players, so that we can push them these opportunities, or they could eventually propose to the community. But tonight I will show you how we can push from our ServiceNow directly a job opportunity in the pocket of one of our own players. Does that sound good, Fred?
Sounds quite exciting. And yeah, guess we can go and have a quick demo. That might be
Okay.
the best way to illustrate that.
Okay, allow me to share my screen.
Yeah.
So you should be able to see my screen. So for those who are familiar with ServiceNow, I'm here on a very normal dashboard in ServiceNow. This is our own platform. So I've been developing on this platform. It's the same platform that any customer would get. So exactly the same thing. It's hosted by ServiceNow, of course, so we are totally in the cloud. And for my first case, well, I'm going to upload a PDF file, that represents a job opportunity. So before that, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So you'll see it's a job opportunity for a chief product officer. So of course, this is not an open offer. Don't try to get hired on this job. But you see, this is very basic. We have a required qualification, expertise, experience, what's expected from the candidate in this case. So let's go back to our instance. And I'm just going to go here. I have a list of, well, I don't have any business leads right now in my system, but I'm going to start by creating one. So just very normal stuff, clicking new. So here I can just encode, we have a job offer from N2 for, and I should just put chief product officer. I, of course, must upload my job offer here. So my PDF, the PDF I just showed you. And just like that, by submitting my form here, well, I reach a more, well, a form here that will give me more information. As you can see right now, automatically, our LLM just gathered information. So I know who's the customer, who's my main contact. So Nico is my associate, is one of the two N2s. Whether it's remote or not, this position stands in Nantes, France. And well, the most important thing is what skills are expected. So here, if I just put that, if I refresh, now you can see that we have different skills, but not only the expected skills right now, but also the level that is expected. And of course, being a C-level position, well, we expect high levels. But if I was well, if I encoded, for example, a junior developer job, I would have some maybe JavaScript or whatever coding language with a bit less, a level a bit lower. All right.
Just to make sure it's clear for the audience. So all you did now is you just input the PDF,
Exactly.
and everything else was filled directly through the interaction with the agents, the AI agents.
Exactly. So
Good.
nothing else. So you could imagine I'm a professional sales. I will encode in my system an opportunity, and then straight away my CRM will be filled in with everything I need and everything to fulfill the process then of answering the customer.
So one thing, but and I think that's important to highlight is that it's not like it's the same tool you could use if you wanted to add the job description manually. And what we would expect in that process is that even if it's pre-filled by the AI, it will have to be reviewed by
Of course.
a human being. It's just assisting the entry, but it's not replacing
Exactly.
yes.
So this is just you have to consider that as a good help, and just to take from you any time consuming task. AI is meant to help you, not to replace. Because here I must still be smart. I have to know my environment. I have to know my candidates. I have to know my customers. So you don't replace good people by AI. Not this type of not with this type of AI. This is really a helper and a great one. So just like that, uploaded my PDF and my CRM gets updated. But you could have the same thing with knowledge. You could have any process could be improved thanks to AI, of course.
Good.
Okay, so let's go to the second use case. So I have a new candidate. So as I mentioned here at N2, we call them players because we want to gamify a bit everything. So in that list, I have myself, Nicolas Hoffman. So just to show you what a profile looks like here. So I've got a summary, some basic information, and what we call played mission, because we gamify everything. This is my experience, real life experience here. So yes, I worked for IKEA, if you pay attention. My skills levels, any certifications I might have, and my education. So here we have 3 different schools. Could be more, could be less, whatever. So now, Fred, if you allow me, I'll just add you in my system. So I know your LinkedIn profile nickname, vanity name, if you want to. So I know how to reach you on LinkedIn. I'll just add some email address, because also what you have to understand is that we cannot access information that is not already there in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Cannot go and just get anything that we want. So this is it takes a bit more time than the job opportunity, because here in that case, and maybe you can explain a bit further what's happening in AI. But if I understand correctly, we have different processes happening right now in background.
Yeah, so actually, what we just did, and like you say, all you gave was the LinkedIn profile, but actually, it could work with any source. We've tried that as well with providing a resume or other data. But what it does is that it will send a request to your or AI agents, and they will do a few things. Actually, extract information. So the first thing is gather the information we have. So here it's from the LinkedIn profile, but we could have information from a resume, from other parts as well. And then it will extract key information which can be useful to start creating the profile of the end user. It can be the summary, so that's the bio, whatever certifications, education, all of this information. And one thing we do as well, because that's how we wanted to really focus the matching system, is really focus on the skills. I mean, quite too often, people only look at the job titles or the education, and then for us, this is only one of the piece. What's interesting is what skills this drive, what skills are behind the job title and all the story we can gather, and that's allows us to create a profile of the customer, candidate or of the player here, and we can use that to match skills for skills rather than title for title, which actually is more efficient to find a good opportunity. And yeah, we can see that it starts to give the results. So I think the first thing we have is the bio. So maybe I can transfer back to you to
Yes,
tell
of
us
course.
what's been populated
So
already.
summary or bio. So we have the AI agent summarized for us your experience and expertise and so on. We got some basic information like your first name, last name, a title, but it could be anything else, anything you can imagine. So here, these are just a few fields that we wanted to show for the demo purpose. But of course, if the need is expanding, of course, the agent can be also expanded. So your experience now is in the played mission.
Yeah.
So if I want to sort by date, so here I have your full experience since 99.
Wow.
With any companies you've worked for, job titles and so on, all your skills with your skills level, all your certifications. So here we can see also whether there's an ending date or not. So for example, your Prince 2 seems to be expired, but still we have the information. So it could be interesting even though it's expired. Well, could be used. It could still be useful because this means that you are certified. So you could answer to any needs, and of course all your education. So latest one is an MBA at Harvard. So there we go.
So thank you. I think maybe to add that, because that's something we haven't displayed yet in the ServiceNow part, is that not only does the agent provide you with an analysis of the profile, so it gives you the information. Some of that is fact, it just gives you the fact, but the summary, the skills, all of that is actually something generated. And for the skills, one thing we always ask the agents to do is to justify the answer. I think that's something which is key, and we can talk more about that when we talk about the matching
Yes.
part. Is that we want to make sure that once again we use AI to help with the decision, not to take place of the the decision maker. And for that, it's really important that behind any quantitative assignment or skills level, there's actually for each of them we can tell why we assign you that skill and what was the rationale and how this ties to actual facts we get from your profile. And I think that's a key philosophy we have when we deploy those the AI into a system, is to make sure that we can trace how a result was computed.
You're absolutely right, Fred. I'll show that now in the third use case, because now I want to match my business lead for the CPO that I just encoded with your profile and mine. And I'll show you that the agent will explain why you would be a good match and I wouldn't. And still, being operating my whole workflow, I could decide to push the job to Nicolas Hoffman, to Nikki, to myself. But knowing that it's not a good match, I won't lose that time. So I'll just send it to you. So that's a good transition. Let's go to our third scenario. So just going back to my lead here. And you might have noticed that we have a button here to get matching. I have it on the top or the bottom of the screen. This is exactly the same button. So now if I'm trying to do that, I can just go and look for you like that. And I want to look for me. So I'll just take myself like that and submit. So again, all happening in background. I also have something I didn't show earlier. I log things just to know that the system works correctly. So now you can see that the matching is completed, and I have a link to matchings right here. So as we can see, the matching for myself is only about 40% for that job offer, and you, Fred, you would be 90%. So that's probably one of the best scores you could get to match a job. Of course, nobody's perfect, so 100 would be complicated to reach. So just why am I not the good candidate? Well, it's explained here. So we get a rationale like that with the explanation. And should I want to push the candidacy of Nicolas Hoffman for that job, what would be interesting to propose as experience for the of the candidate to try to get the job. Mm-hmm. So in that, for that job, I would expect my player to explain to the customer, well, he's a co-founder of a company and he's a senior consultant, so he has some skills regarding those positions he had. Now, if I go to you, Fred, here you can see we have something different. So we have your relevant experience, your leadership skills, technical skills. So you are quite a good match, and this is why. It's all explained here. Still, you're not perfect. So again, the system will tell us that mm-hmm. you still have some weaknesses, and we could work on them. So again, we are not just automating the whole candidacy process, but we are helping understanding the matching between our player and, of course, any mission, any job. And these are your experience that we would need to show, to demonstrate to the customer to help us maybe gaining the mission. I think I can't hear you, Fred. I'm not sure if.
Yeah. I think so I was on mute. Yes, what you just showed is really interesting. I think it's important to highlight that the matching number we provide in the generic, which is generated by the AI agent, is just an indicator. And what matters is that it helps. But then it's really important to look into the rationale, and for the two reasons. Like, first, to check that it's relevant, and if, for instance, this matching was coming from a misunderstanding from the AI agent on the profile, it would show here, and then it's possible to discard the result. But also, I like that what you say is that it also tells what might and what might not work. And the last piece we have at the bottom of the page is, and that's because we took the use case of your consultancy and you want to propose a profile to a customer, is that we provide you with help if you want to push this candidacy. And maybe a quick anecdote there, we also tried another use case which was not based on ServiceNow, but same principle. And what we demonstrate in the park was that you could, like here, we select, the AI agent selects the relevant experience, but we also had a use case where we actually generate custom resumes. Like if you have like 10 profiles, you want to offer the 10 of them to a customer, we can generate customized resume for each of them, which will actually help you as a consultancy put together the response to an RFQ. So we can really customize all of that depending on the need and the actual use case.
Exactly. So now I'm going to demonstrate our last use case. Now I'm convinced that I want to get the job for you. So I'm going to push it to you. I can do it just here on the form, or I can right click here, push to player. It's exactly the same thing. So now I just pushed, and you should receive the job offer on your phone. So yeah, now you're sharing your phone, and I don't know if it was quite quick, but I showed it appeared right now. So now you can maybe tell us what you see on your phone. Oh, you muted again.
Yeah. So what it does is actually, so on my phone, I have an application, which is another product we're working on. So initially, this product is really meant to be used for by a freelance or somebody who wants to manage his skills. And one thing is that it allows to capture and save jobs which I can find or I want to apply to. And as it's connected to your applications, we can actually receive. So the use case is like that. I am on the on my phone, and I'm part of the freelance collective like N2. And because you find a job or an opportunity which could be interesting for me, you can actually push it directly to me, and I can review it, and from there apply the same way. So it's really what we're trying to see is how we use both. Interesting fact is that this app is actually also a standalone product, but it's based on the same backend which is used by the ServiceNow version of the tool. We try to share that as much as possible.
Yes, something that is really important to understand is also where the data stands. So here, our our system is ServiceNow. So what we are using, we are using the AI every time we send the agents information, and they send us the agents, the LLMs send us back some data. But all the governance around the data is within our company system, which is ServiceNow in this case, but could be anything, SAP or whatever. Also, I see a comment right here about CVs. So indeed, we thought about that. So also within the app, and Fred, maybe you can tell us more. But within the app, when you want to apply for a job, not only you would apply for it, but the app will start helping you to get the job. So
Yeah,
CV
I,
maybe.
I,
Yeah.
I can tell a few words on that. So, like I said, here we don't want to demonstrate the full app. We're still working on it. It's a beta version, which we started to test with internal users. But basically, the app does the same thing as the ServiceNow platform does. It can allow you to build your profile, but for yourself. So it won't be to manage others, but you manage your own profile. And one thing it does, it enables you to actually not just have an exhaustive profile which you can feed with information you find relevant about yourself. You can also have all the jobs which you find either on one of the platforms you have online or which you receive by email. All of that can go into the application. And then if one of the job is interesting for you, for instance, if Nikki pushed a job to a candidate on the app, then it would be possible for the user of the app to actually use that to apply. And the app has more features which we can probably demonstrate in a, I think maybe in another webinar. Is that it can take you all the way like to creating an introduction letter. It has a way to tell you whether there's a give you interview tips or which question you should expect from an interview, how you should answer based on your profile. It has many other things. We even have a virtual coach for freelancers in the app. So there's a lot there. But what really wanted to show is that two things: we share the same background, like the backend we use, and everything we find, innovation we find for the app for the freelance is something which also can be used for the ServiceNow version of whatever version we have for collective or an ESN, and also that we connect the two of them. Like we can push data from one to the other, and that's well, one of the few cool things we have. There's plenty more we have in the backlog, but that's one of the one which find really cool to integrate the two of them.
More to come in the close future, very near future, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding the ServiceNow part, this is all I had to show you tonight. Uh, but I think before maybe getting questions and answers, so maybe we can just summarize together
Yeah.
what we just did. So first encoded a job, then ServiceNow asked agents to gather information from that job and to help me encode in my system anything I need to know, and anything my workflows need, any data my workflows need to help me or to go through the process of applying for a job offer. Then I showed you how we would integrate a new candidate in our system. So just based on his LinkedIn profile, we got information about skills, certifications, experience, and education. Of course, we used LinkedIn, but it could be a normal resume or anything else. It could be a mix, I think, of different document types. Then we tried to match our profile with our application. We saw a result. We saw also the justification of that result, whether it's good or bad. And then also the experience that should be highlighted to apply for the job. And finally, as you were a good match, I pushed you the job to directly on your app. And of course, again, data stands in ServiceNow, and it's not stored by our custom application.
No. I mean, it's exactly right. And maybe I can transition from that. So the idea is really we want to keep the things modular. There's multiple advantages to that. But the one thing is we want to make sure we keep control of the data. And I think that's maybe before we close and then we turn to questions. A few things I think beyond the use case is how we thought about putting this together and why. First, like I say, it's a hybrid model, meaning that we use ServiceNow to really hold the process, and then we use the dedicated backend where the AI agents are located, and we use it as it's a stateless tool. Like data goes into, we make the processes, we return it, but there's nothing stored on the backend itself. I think it's important for us to make sure that we know where the data is. The advantage of doing it this way is that instead of having something fully standalone, is that we can use an existing proven platform like ServiceNow, for which there's a resource pool of people, and also we know that it can be a production level. And we couple that with the backend, which also built separately and a production level. And the idea is that we wanted to make sure that we bring those AI capabilities in a way which makes it possible to deploy it at scale in any company, leveraging the existing tools and existing resources. I think that's really the what we wanted to focus on. The second thing is that we wanted to make sure that the way we use AI, like you say, Nikki, we're not using the AI tool or some of the AI which is already inside ServiceNow. We decided to go and do it ourselves. The reason that gives us control, like we have a control of what we use, which LLM we use to power agents. In his case, for today's presentation, it was using an OpenAI LLM for most of them. We actually don't even need to use a very powerful one because we're using agents. We actually use the mini version of 4.0, and that more than enough. But the good thing is that because we have control of that, we could use any other LLM, or we could even use an open source version and host it where we want it. And I think that's also a key element. Like we want to make sure that we don't get stuck with a specific LLM, and we don't have to use. We can freely put the data where we want it, and we know that for regulatory purposes, it's quite important. And the third piece is that it gives us transparency. Like everything we do, in our case, we use an open source system for observability for AI, which is called Langfuse, but there's many others. But it's really important for us that we keep track of all the exchanges. But then, even for that, the data from those traces, they are stored on the server, which we control, and we know where the data goes. And I insist on that because if you follow the news recently on AI, more and more, especially in Europe, that hopefully that will go further. when AI is used for purposes related to HR or HR processes, it will be mandatory that we have those tracing mechanism in place, and then we can control where the data goes. So, and all of that is possible because we decided on this architecture.
Thank you. That was, I think, very clear.
Thanks, and clear for you, and a great demo. I'm glad it went well. We decided to do it live, and because I mean, a video demo is not a real demo, so it's good that it worked mostly. So,
And of course, we will upload this live on our YouTube channel. So make sure to go back if you missed anything, or if you want to review it again, to see it again. You'll be able to see it on our channel. So maybe, I don't know if there are any questions.
Yes. Oh, there's quite a few questions up. You mentioned the importance of. So I'm going to read the question. You mentioned the importance of transparency and observability in AI integration. Could you elaborate on specific tools or methods you recommend for maintaining this transparency, especially when dealing with complex AI models? So I think on this one, it's a topic on which is really interesting and important for us, because we really want to think about AI in a real life, in a real organization, with the constraints we know in terms of security and data and everything. And it really comes down to how you build the system. And on this one, what we recommend, that's something, I mean, I have the pleasure to work with a few startups in that field. And many of them, actually, the advice is that as much as possible, try to keep control and know that you can master the architecture you're using, so that you can put in place the right tools to trace everything. So like I say, one thing, clear, important thing to do is make sure you store and you trace every time there's an exchange or something is created by one of your LLM or an LLM agent. That's really important, because you want to make sure you can debug, you can know what happened, if anything. And for that, there's multiple existing tools. We are using a tool called Langfuse. Others call, I mean, many existing observability frameworks have incorporated AI into the systems. There you have people like Datadog who provide that as well. The key is that you want to make sure that the way you do it enables you to have a full trace. And that's what we have. Like we can trace exactly which request and in which sequence it was made. And that has two advantages. You can debug, that's one thing. And you can track also the cost, because this way you can know how many tokens you use and the cost for each of the requests. And if you're building your model on AI, it's really essential to know the cost of using it.
Indeed. And you're right. So about logs, they are quite precise, because when we were developing on ServiceNow, well, I didn't have access to these logs because you were mastering the AI part, but you could very precisely get information of what was working, what wasn't, how I can improve on my side by developing directly in ServiceNow. And it was always straightforward and very precise.
Good. Maybe another question. I think that there's a few more.
So regarding the hybrid model of ServiceNow and dedicated AI backend, what are the primary challenges you've encountered when implementing this approach, and how have you overcome them? Well, to be honest, in integrating with AI wasn't more complex in our use cases than integrating with any other third-party tool. The only thing I would say is that if you want to use AI, this must be in a very strong strategy of the company, because technically it's an integration between two information systems. So on a technical approach, it's no different. There's not any difference. So I would really say the challenges are here more about the strategy. So understanding what AI could bring you, why you would use it, and how you can use it efficiently, how you can make these changes amongst your employees or people, whatever. But technically, it's not more complicated. And of course, everything must be process oriented. So you don't just integrate two systems together. You integrate two systems to fulfill your processes. So
Yeah.
of course you must build those in advance. You must understand them and then decide exactly when to use the AI and when not to use it, because you don't have to put AI everywhere, of course. So I hope I answered correctly the question.
Well, I think
Otherwise, just tell me. No.
yeah, and I think what is really important is that it worked because we started from an existing use case or business process, and we understood the process. And I think that's the key, because there it's all about how to digitalize it, and which part of it should be easier to digitalize with AI, and which ones can be digitalized with a more deterministic way. I think first the main challenge, which was more on the back end side, was of course we are talking about AI agents which generate content which has to be processed by a ServiceNow platform, which in this case actually is not, I mean, is has limited flexibility. That's where we built it. And so the key challenge here is to make sure that whatever is output by the LLM still works within a very strict framework of how the output should be built. And the good thing is that this has been much easier. It's easier to do that today than it was maybe a year ago. Like it's first we can actually almost force the LLMs to generate a specific structure or content. We also have in place some systems to check that the output is good before we send it, and tries again if need be. So there's a few things to do to make sure that the connection between a deterministic ServiceNow system and a kind of not so deterministic AI system can still talk together and don't have misunderstandings, but it's much easier today than maybe 6 or 12 months ago.
Indeed.
I think we have a last question.
The demo showcase AI-driven matching for business leads and consultants. How adaptable is this system to other industries or use cases? For instance, could it be applied to match products with customers in retail setting? I'm sure the answer is yes, but maybe we could go deeper than just yes.
Yeah, I think uh, there's no major problem for that. And actually, the question is a bit different here. So yes, especially if you speak AI. If you speak about Gen AI, and here in this case, we're using Gen AI because the matter we use is actually quite flexible and loose. Like we want to compare a profile and to a job, and we tried two different ways, but realized that using Gen AI and comparing like text and text in like loose way works better with a Gen AI. If you're thinking products with customers, AI can do it as well. But then it might be interesting to test not just Gen AI, but other more classical ways of using AI, like machine learning or deep learning, or other tools which have been used for years, like the system which allows you to gives you suggestions of other things to buy once you buy about something. All of that pre-existed before Gen AI, and in some cases, I think it's an important thing to do. AI can do it, but be careful that there's more to AI than just generative AI. And in many cases, Gen AI is not the best option. So you will have to pick for what, depending on how loose the matching you want to do is and the quality of your data. It's great to pick one or the other. But yeah, there's an AI which can do the kind of use case you have here, but you have to pick the right one depending on the context.
So what you just said is that it all goes back to strategy. Again, you must decide in advance, or you must try out at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. You have to be. I think you need a good understanding of your use case. You need a good understanding of your data. I think that's one of the baby webinars we did a few weeks ago about how essential it is that a prerequisite for, I mean, delivering AI at scale is to actually have a data governance which maps with the kind of use case you'll have. But it all comes down to this. I mean, AI here, like IT in general, is a tool for a business process which exists above all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good. I think that was the last question. Thank you very much, Nikki. It was great, not just today. Has been great for quite a few weeks. We've been working together on this, and I'm sure. I mean, the great thing is that not only we're quite happy of what's being put together, but it brought many more ideas, which we'll have the pleasure to share here
Yeah,
as well.
of
And
course.
I wish you a very good evening, and have a good afternoon on my end. And
Yeah,
thank
the pleasure was shared. I really enjoyed working with you on those topics. I'm looking forward to go further, maybe to organize another webinar in a few months to show you how we improved our system. Why not?
that would be great. And I'm
Wait and
sure
see.
we'll think about a webinar to share a bit more of the app, because today was kind of a teaser, and maybe next time we can share you
Sure.
more
Yeah.
than what had to share today. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
See you.